Hello. Oh my gosh, I need to back up and adjust. Hello, and welcome back to Creative Pet Keeping. My name is Kasia. I am your host, and I am so pumped up and excited to make this video right now because this is the first video of the 2022 Betta breeding series. We're gonna do some Betta breeding, not today particularly, but it's starting. So we're gonna start off with explaining what the point of the series and give you a little bit of information on my plans for this year are, and then at the end of the video I'm going to show you the unboxing so you can get a first sneak peek look at some of the fish that I would like to spawn. I don't even know where to begin. I guess we'll begin with the idea that sparked all of this. And in the past, I've only usually spawned one spawn a year because raising Bettas is a lot of work. It's very time intensive. It just labor, there's a lot that goes into it. You gotta take care of the fish, you gotta ship the fish and sell the fish, and there's a lot of work that goes into taking care of them. Bettas are not as easy as spawning other types of fish are. I mean, I've spawned like at least, I think at this point I'm at like 12 different cichlid species, and it was much easier. So there's definitely a lot of work, which is why I tend to just space things out. I don't do many spawns. I do breaks in between my spawns because, you know, after you're jarring and doing a lot of water changes every other day to every day, it's exhausting after a while, so you just want to take a break. And that's also one of the reasons why I've never done multiple spawns, because logistically, for me as my one little person, the only way I could do multiple spawns is if I culled the fish very, very heavily, which would reduce the number drastically. But this year, a cool opportunity came up which changes all of it, and it sort of like opened up this cool thing which led to this Betta breeding series, and that is a mini partnership with Bettas, who sells fish at all of the Aquashella shows. He's a good friend. I like him and his wife a lot. They've helped me and given me a lot of my Bettas. The tiger giant that you see over there, that's one of the fish I got from him, and he sells not only the imported fish that he has, you know, usually in those nice little cups, the larger size kind of deli containers that he sells them in. He also has these cool little pools where you can select your very own Betta and kind of fish it out, and then they'll bag it for you. So I will be, for the very first time, attempting to spawn at least 4, I gotta check my hand, make sure it's the right number, but 4 spawns at the same time. And then all of those spawn, I will pick out just a few fish that I want to hold back for future breeding, and all of them, like I'm showing you, like I'm grabbing them all right now, all of them I will take to Chicago Aquashella in October, and they will be sold at the Bettas booth in one of those tubs where you will be able to pick out your very own creative pet keeping fish in person, which I think is gonna be like the neatest thing ever. And not only will you be able to then look back and watch that particular fish grow up, you will get to see its siblings, you will get to see its parents, you will know when the birthday is, and all the awesome cool information that oftentimes you don't get to have when you buy a fish that you got imported somewhere or from a pet store. You don't know like how old they truly are or who their parents are. In this case, you'll get to be able to do that, and I think it's really, really cool because I will also be at the Aquashella in Chicago. So then after you pick out your Betta fish, you can come bring it over, and I would love to see which fish you selected and why, and it would be really cool to just get to like kind of chat with the future owner of the fish that I bred. So I think that'll be a cool thing that I'm gonna try for the very first time. The one downside is I will not be selling and shipping the fish online like I have in the past. I think this year I might just skip on it, mostly because shipping fish is really stressful for me. I thought if I can just sell my fish at the Chicago Aquashella, then I can just skip that step and be able to focus more on growing these fish, being able to experience raising multiple spawns at once without worrying about the shipping and selling process. So there's like pros and cons, but I think this is like a cool opportunity that popped up, and with the timing of everything, if all goes well, because I intend to spawn my fish next week at the latest, except for the fish that are the 2 that I told you were sick. The medicine regimen that I have them on is working. They're actually recovering quite well, but I will give them extra time as part of their quarantine, and as I will start to condition them to decide whether or not I will breed them. So they're a maybe. If they end up really in great shape to spawn, I will consider spawning them. But if they're not ready, I just may also just keep them as my pet bettas, and I'm totally cool with that. So except that one particular pair, all the other pairs are pretty much ready to go. So if all goes well, and you know, that's always kind of iffy with fish, because fish do what fish want to do. But assuming everything goes well, then the fish will be exactly 3 months old by the time Aquashella Chicago happens. If there is any delay, maybe they might be like a week younger, so they'll be like a week away from 3 months old, but that is the goal. In terms of their size, I'm not going to power grow them because there are some downsides to power growing, and one of them being fat accumulating around the liver, causing fatty liver disease, which does shorten the lifespan of the fish. But I will try to feed them some high protein, high fat diets here and there to make sure that they are going to be like a decent size by the time they're ready to be sold. But because Ben is going to be selling them in the tub where it's going to have mixed genders, both male and female, they're going to be young enough to still be together in that setup. They don't have to be full size, full grown looking bettas, which is really nice because then I'm not pressured to have to power grow them. So I can try to grow them in a rate that I think will make healthy fish, because one of the things that I really prioritize, and I hope I don't sound like a broken record because I'm always rambling about this, but I really think that health of betta fish is really, really important. A lot of the times we all focus on good form or beautiful colorations or new fin types that are rare or color combinations that are rare, and that oftentimes will lead us to really heavily line breed and heavily inbreed. And while we will produce cool fish now, looking back in the future, we are really weakening the bettas, and bettas will have shorter lifespans. They will have more disease. They will be more susceptible to diseases, and they are more and more susceptible to a lot of genetic diseases that can be completely avoided with careful planning and good breeding. So I'm really hoping to be able to help contribute to producing healthier fish that we may enjoy a couple years down the line. I'm particularly excited about the unicorn bucket spawn that I've worked on previously, because I ended up actually holding back a lot of the bettas from the unicorn bucket baby spawn for the sole purpose of seeing, will they live longer lives? Are there any health issues that are going to start to pop up in these fish? And so far all of them are over 2 years old and they're doing really great, and they're actually the healthiest spawn I've ever had. So while I don't think I've accomplished my goal of producing really hardy, super healthy fish, I feel like I'm heading in that direction. So I'm really hoping that that's something I can continue to work on. And I need to be able to outcross and be able to bring in some new bloodlines. So I did end up importing some fish to work with. I will be doing one sibling spawn from the bucket spawn, and you'll know why. There's a very good reason for it. But then right afterwards, I'm going to outcross it out again. So it's only going to be like a one generation breeding back and then outcross right. You'll know more about my plans because I don't want to like say everything all at once. But this is the first video of the series. I will be putting all the videos in one series. I need some help from you because I need a name. I need a name for this series that will represent the multiple spawns. And I haven't thought of anything cool or clever, so I would really appreciate it if in the comments down below you can tell me if you have any cool ideas. Obviously, I mean at this point I think anyone can come up with something better than a unicorn baby bucket spawn. Hopefully with your help we can come up with something shorter and cooler and simpler. And oh yeah, that's kind of it. I think I covered all the information, I'm hoping. I'm really excited, and I am now going to show you the unboxing of the fish that I got from the import order. And in the next video next week, I will show you a closer look at the pairs that I am intending to breed, give you updates on the fish that are recovering, that are sick, and just overall let you know more about my plans. And the spawning tanks are set up. There's gonna be a couple more spawning set up, and I will let you know more about this. So you'll be here, hopefully, along for the ride, for the journey, and you'll get to see this project, and I hope that you will really enjoy it and enjoy watching these fish grow up. So without further ado, so I don't keep rambling, because I'm super excited. When I'm excited, I ramble. Let's take a closer look at the fish that I ended up importing with Taylor from Simply Betta. And be sure to go to her channel, because eventually maybe she might share the fish she ended up getting. And it would be really cool to see what kind of fish she got versus the type of fish I got for our individual breeding project. So let's get started. After hearing me ramble so much, you definitely deserve to get a sneak peek at the fish that I ended up getting. I like the container that they came in. They came in this little tiny little cooler. That's what I'm gonna call it. It's just a little styrofoam container that perfectly fits into the box itself. And then all the fish were kind of just, I guess, keeping each other from flopping around. So first, let's start off with this little fancy yellow female. I got her because I wanted her to be crossed to the bucket spawn to start bringing a little bit more yellow into that particular line. And then this was the surprise. So I ended up only getting one pair and a female, but as a bonus, I ended up getting this candy koi marble pair from Taylor, because I told her that I always wanted to breed candy koi, and she surprised me with it, and I thought that was very kind of her, and I really appreciate it. So this is one of the copper plaquette half moons, but they're known as startails, and this is the fish that I really wanted to spawn. These are the fish that are currently sick right now, but they're doing a lot better. I think because I was so paranoid and I medicated them early, that actually helped them recover much quicker. So that was really good. But here's another look at the candy koi pair. You will, of course, get a much better look once they are all colored up and settled in. I've been conditioning them already, and they're doing great. Also, Banana had to get a sniff because she was curious. So what I'll do is I will put these down right here, and then we will take a closer look at two of the fish, just so you can get a little bit of a better preview, and you can look forward to seeing these fish next week. So this is the male, that is the startail. He is so cute. You can't really see the startail pattern unless he would be flaring, but I didn't really want to flare him because, you know, the whole journey was quite a lot. He came from overseas. So usually when I import fish, which actually really happens really rarely, I just want to leave them alone and let them rest, and I don't really want to flare them or bother them for the next couple of days. They've been through a lot, so the best thing to do is just to let them relax and get acclimated. This is the candy female, and wow, I'm really excited to see what this pair will produce. I'm really hoping we're going to get a lot of different candy koi that are going to have so many different patterns, and super excited that Taylor sent them to me because, so excited. They're so nice.